everybody, it's Harry from Celebrity Barbecue coming to you from Los Angeles, California. I just have a super exciting treat for you. I have on this virtual tailgate and Zoom call two of the most famous female pitmasters from Canada, Maddie and Kiki. So Maddie and Kiki, please introduce yourself and tell the whole world how we all met in this crazy world of barbecue.
Hi, Harry.
Hi, Harry.
Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this. We are so excited to be doing this cook with Harry Soo, the Harry Soo.
And I have to say, it's kind of not fair that we're in freezing cold weather and Harry's like hanging out at a resort-style backyard here.
You're like, how is this happening? It's going to be dark here in like 30 minutes. Like, that isn't fair, Harry.
We're bundled up in parkas.
No.
Oh, it's a balmy, about 90 degrees here in Los Angeles. I'm in my backyard. So for you ladies, what's the temperature out in Canada?
It is about -6 here right now today. Very, very cold. But we grill all year round. We're used to it. We're good, cold-blooded Canadian girls, and we grill in much colder than this.
Yeah, this is actually warm for us.
Yes.
Why don't you tell the story about how we bumped into each other at that crazy instructor event at the Weber Masterclass?
Yes, Harry, that is one of our favorite stories because we were just so starstruck with being able to have the opportunity to meet you. We were invited to this brisket masterclass with Weber down in Chicago, and we heard that Harry was going to be attending. We absolutely couldn't believe it.
It kind of scared us because we were like, okay, but like the Harry Soo is going and like we actually get to like touch him and talk to him and learn from him.
And it was honestly just as good as we could have ever imagined. Harry, you're exactly like you appear in your videos. Super friendly, super down to earth.
Super genuine.
And I'm not just saying this, we literally quote you all the time.
Yes.
We're always like, remember that Harry said that. Remember that Harry said that.
Yeah, for those viewers who are not aware of what we're talking about, every year Weber Corporation puts on a masterclass. It happens in Palatine, which is right next to Chicago. And I've been very fortunate to be a guest instructor on those masterclasses. They invite people from around the country. I ran into Maddie and Kiki, the two crazy ladies from Canada who really made an impression. I believe we met on the Friday, the night before the start of the class for the social hour. And we were all over our Weber pits talking about what the wonderful things we could cook for the class. So it was a friendship that began instantaneously in Chicago. And now it's continued over this year. Right now, we're so happy that we can actually have a little master class. I'm trying to figure out what we should do for a little kind of a Kiki, Maddie, and Harry class. And you want to tell people kind of like the genesis of this idea of what we're going to cook today?
Okay, well, first of all, I think Kiki, Harry, and Maddie has a good ring to it. I think that's a new YouTube channel.
I love it. I kind of came up with this decision because meatloaf is one of those things that is comforting to pretty much everybody.
Yes.
Whether you're in Canada, whether you're in the United States, everybody has their own version of making a meatloaf, which is why I'm so excited to see what your version is going to look like.
Yes, and I have to say, before we even move on, one of the first things that I found surprising about Harry is his openness to share his wisdom.
Yes.
Okay, because usually people, when they have wisdom like Harry does, they are not so open to sharing it. And like Harry just like spews out all of his knowledge and expertise because Harry, we just love you because you want to pass it on. That's extremely rare.
It's sad how rare that is, but it's true.
Yes.
I love you ladies also, and you guys do what I do, which is spread that barbecue love, is shared with everyone around the world.
Inspiration for our meatloaf is kind of everything that you can think of that's Canadian that goes into a meatloaf.
Yes.
So it all starts with venison. We have ground venison we're using ground venison in our meatloaf, but we're using a venison and pork mix because, as many of you know, if you do hunt or you have access to venison is an extremely lean protein.
Yes.
So you don't want to make a meatloaf entirely of venison because it wouldn't have any fat to it.
You need the pork fat to juice it up.
We like to make this meatloaf with very simple ingredients. So we're gonna start off with some green onions. We like to let the venison speak for itself here. Have some of our house blend seasoning here. And this is a great all-purpose seasoning that we like to use in different proteins that we work with. We use it in a lot of vegan dishes that we make on the barbecue as well. And then we're going in with an egg. Here is kind of one of our secrets to making our meatloaf. is we like to use oats. And the reason we like doing this is because it serves two purposes. It keeps the meatloaf nice and juicy, and it prevents it from shrinking on the grill. So it just absorbs the fat from the meatloaf. It doesn't end up in the pan. It stays inside.
Yeah. It's starting to come together. It already smells delicious because of the rub. But Harry, what sets this meatloaf apart from a typical meatloaf, which we want to impress you? We had to bring our A game with this collaboration because, again, even to say that we're doing a collaboration with Harry Soo, can't believe it, but we had to bring our A game. So what we're actually going to be stuffing into this meatloaf is a legendary dish, which is actually Canada's national dish, which is poutine.
Okay, so please tell American viewers what a poutine is.
So for those of you who don't know or aren't familiar with poutine, it is one of Canada's most famous dishes, and all it is French fries with cheese curds on top and a very good gravy. So that's why we're stuffing it into this meatloaf, because you don't get more Canadian than a poutine. But we're not actually gonna stuff it inside. Maddie and I have made this meatloaf in a multitude of different ways.
Harry, I don't know if you can see that, but it's basically a hollowed out, not hollowed out, but just like a pushed out. It kind of looks like a canoe.
Yeah. So exactly, that's right. It's like a venison canoe. And once it's like 95% cooked, then we go in with the poutine just to melt the cheese and just to make it ooey and gooey and delicious.
Okay, that looks fantastic. A little Maddie and Kiki canoe meatloaf, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's a good name for it, actually. I like that.
So that one is going to go on the grill.
We're cooking on the Weber Genesis. So I think Harry knows about this method. But when you're cooking on a gas grill, Harry, are you familiar with what is known as the mom method?
No, I'm not. Please explain.
Mom method is what's referred to as the configuration of the grill. So you start off on one side with one of the burners turned onto medium heat. Then the center is off completely. And then the other side is on medium as well. So that's where you get the MOM, medium off medium. So it's cooked over indirect heat. And then it sort of creates like an oven where the meat is getting evenly cooked inside. And then it comes off looking like this. Once it comes off the grill.
So you guys saw how Maddie and Kiki did their venison-inspired poutine-style Canadian meatloaf. I am going to do a more sort of a traditional recipe. But when I cook, I always ask myself the question, right? What are the characteristics of the best barbecue meatloaf? And I like meatloaf that is moist, not dry, it's not soggy or greasy. The meat's got to have a good chew, great flavor. It's not bland. It's got to be also tender. And then when you slice a meatloaf, it's got to slice so that it will fit in a sandwich and not fall apart and be crumbly. And then the last thing I like in a meatloaf is that it's got a nice caramelized outside crust. So I'm going to share with Kiki and Maddie, as well as all the viewers watching, the 7 best tips I have for creating the best barbecue meatloaf. So the first thing I want to point out is that you need aromatics. Normal one that I like to use is a holy trinity of some celery, bell pepper, and onions. Next tip also is that don't overcook. So I'm going to cook it on a pellet cooker here. I'm cooking it at 350 degrees today. And you want to make sure that you don't overcook your meatloaf. And then the other thing I also use is my last tip for you is that I cook my meatloaf naked. What does that mean? When I say naked meatloaf, that means I cook it on a cedar plank. And that way the meatloaf will drain, any excess grease will drain off the meatloaf. So I have the meat in here. I'm going to add the egg. And what the egg does is it binds the proteins together. I'm going to add also a little bit of dairy. You can use milk, but I like to use sour cream because I think it has great flavor. Add some breadcrumbs, about 1 cup of breadcrumbs. I'm going to put about 3 tablespoons of Worcestershire. A little bit of salt. I'm going to use a little bit of a beef rub, my moolah beef rub. About 1 tablespoon of beef rub. I like to use dry mustard. About 1 tablespoon of mustard. And a little bit of a tomato sauce, so to provide a little bit of moisture. And this is best done with the hands, so I'm going to use my hands. Key here is also to not overmix. So I'm actually folding, the technique that I'm using is folding the meat with the ingredients. And we just plop it on like so. Shape it into a kind of a little log. we pop this into the pit. Usually takes, depending on the size of your logs, it usually takes about an hour and 45 minutes or so.
It looks like Harry's log could fit inside our canoe.
Yeah, it could. It's like California meets Canada.
Yeah.
Yes. This is Harry's little football going into the canoe. So I'm gonna put it in the pit now to show you guys how it's done. And let it get happy for about 2 hours. Through the magic of post-production, after 2 hours, it will come out looking like this.
Oh
Voila.
my goodness, loving the color. And look at how glistening the boards got with all that sauce on the plank. I have to say, don't you feel like this is weird? Because I can see Harry's meatloaf and I can smell ours. It's like, I'm like, oh, I can smell his, but it's actually ours. Oh, look at Mr. Beans.
Oh,
He's ready for this taste test.
He's ready for his taste test.
Okay, and I don't know if Harry knows this, but Harry, whenever we do a taste test on our videos, Kiki always feeds me, but the bite comes with a sound effect.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Please go ahead.
So Kiki, okay, what sound effect is this one gonna be? Okay. I'm like drooling already.
Okay, so since ours is a Canadian meatloaf, I'm gonna go with the standard. Oh, Canada, our home and native land.
Harry's probably like, what the heck is happening? Okay.
Wow, right in there. How good is that? That maple barbecue sauce right off the top. It's all about that sweet and salty combination.
The cheese curds.
Yes.
I just got a big bite of the cheese curds. Salty. It pairs perfectly with the sweetness from the maple syrup. I feel like this is mean because we can't share with Harry Soo.
And everybody watching, I wish we could mail this to each and every one of you.
So ladies, that was a fantastic meatloaf. Looks absolutely amazing. I can just imagine that wonderful cheesy flavor from the cheese curds. So I'm gonna cut mine now, and I'm gonna take a slice here. It's basically a slice that looks like that. It's even got a little bit of a smoke ring on it. And let me do a taste test. So here's the meatloaf, and it looks absolutely amazing. So like I said, the texture is very important to get the texture and the color of the meatloaf. I'm going to take a bite now. I like meatloaf that has a wonderful texture. Wow. So it's really good with a little bit more sauce. Any other thoughts we want to share with the viewers regarding this episode?
Just wanted to ask, when you're not grilling, what is something that you like to do?
Okay, what I like to do when I'm not cooking barbecue is actually focus on personal health and diet. And a lot of people don't know this. I'm going to reveal it for the very first time on this episode with my friends in Canada. That breaking news. Even though Harry cooks a lot of meat for the YouTube channel and eats meat, I've been trending more towards a healthy lifestyle. I've been trying to eat more food with more vegetables and whole grains and plant-based food. So sometimes I think that people don't realize that you can really enjoy some great barbecue brisket, enjoy ribs, enjoy chicken, but at the same time, you also want to focus on eating some of the other food groups out there, such as grains, greens, beans, and so on. So I don't eat just barbecue all the time.
Oh my goodness. Harry, I feel like you just shocked the world right now. And I love that you told your Canadian barbecue sister. Maybe Harry and Kiki go on and form a vegan channel.
Yeah, I mean, let's call it Slap Your Vegan Kiki Daddy. All right, wonderful. So, Kiki and Maddie, tell the world what makes you happy.
Oh, I love
That's such
this
a good one. Such a good one. Okay, I think I got mine already.
And I would expect nothing less from Harry.
Yeah,
to be
I know.
honest.
Classic Harry, ending off on a real good one.
Okay, what makes you happy, honey?
Okay, I'm going to have to say this is an easy question for me to answer. And I think many people out there can relate to this. Maybe I can answer for both of us here, but we used to work in a job We worked at the same office that we absolutely hated. We didn't like the work that we did. We made the decision to leave our job 2 years ago to pursue our barbecue dreams and work together and embark on this barbecue journey together in a career way together. And it makes me so happy every single day, whether I'm getting up at 3 a.m., 6 a.m., whatever. I wake up so happy and grateful that I get to do this as a career.
Yeah, that is mine too.
Okay, I knew it. That's why I had to go first.
There's nothing that makes you more happy than doing work for yourself and seeing the benefits that happen when you work hard and live your dreams every single day.
And working with your best friend.
That's true.
You guys are really fortunate that you have each other and able to take that barbecue journey together. Barbecue is a journey that's taken with your tribe. And I don't have a tribe, so I have a YouTube channel and social media and a tribe of hundreds of thousands of people around the world sharing this wonderful journey to spread more barbecue love in the world. So with that, Maddie and Kiki, thank you so much for tuning in all the way from Canada near the Toronto area. I don't think this will be the first and the last time we'll do this, and let's schedule another virtual online event and we'll do something a little bit fun and maybe move our audience towards a little bit of a healthier plant-based options that we can show them how to dazzle their friends and family cooking on open live fire.
Thank you so much for having us, Harry. This has been so much fun, and I cannot already wait for the next time.
It's everything we hoped it would be and more.
You're the best, Harry. Thank you.
All right, ladies, great to cook with you guys, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.